Philadelphia. Oh, boy, look at that top 5 quarterback, Jalen Daniels. Look at that top 5 quarterback barely making it look like it was a football game against the Giants and then not even making it look like a football game against the Packers. What a top 5 quarterback, am I right? I know that there's the Chiefs that lay ahead of us, and I'll see it in Neshaminy Creek Brewing in Dublin on Sunday from 1 to 8 p.m. That is all down below in the description. That is my first question and thought to you. What are they going to say about Jalen Hurts after this weekend? We've come a long way since Thursday night, haven't we? Fucking everybody's yelling about his passing yards, Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen. Everyone has that discussion for a week, but everybody else in the league essentially tanks or doesn't look like themselves. And now all of these people are suddenly going like, I guess Jalen Hurts didn't play so bad against Dallas. In fact, I would say he played unbelievable. 7 days. It took 7 days to semi-course correct on Jalen Hurts, where people aren't really shitting on him as much anymore, which was really fun for a couple of days. And now, where is the conversation about Jalen Daniels after 2 weeks? Where is it? Everyone that put him in the top 5 of these power rankings, where are your concerns? Because there should be lots. And I am sorry to not grovel down to the Green Bay Packers and start licking their taint yet, simply because they've played 2 teams that I don't trust either one of their offenses. I just don't. And Jalen Daniels and that offense doesn't look great. Even though Deebo Samuel's helping us out with our fantasy teams, I am already tired of the taint and butthole licking of both Jalen Daniels and the Packers. Pat McAfee had the balls to come out and say, that looks like a generational defense. They're making everybody look like a JV squad. They should be. They should be. If Micah Parsons gets entered into there, the Packers offense looks fine. Doesn't look groundbreaking, and I'm not saying that they couldn't have a good run of the playoffs. They are good enough to be in, the NFC Championship game, if you had to call it 2 weeks out? Yeah. Do I think that they are the cream of the crop and the only major threat to the Philadelphia Eagles? I'd like to see a couple more weeks before we start doing that. And it's not to discredit what our eyes are seeing and all this. I do not trust the 2 offenses that they played against so far. And aside from the Packers, just sticking with Jalen and this topic for a second, I wanted to strangle Dan Orlovsky's neck, which normally I don't really want to do. Like, he's fine. He is what he is. Makes quarterbacks sound like gods for 2 weeks, and then we see what happens after that. But all of this praise from last year into this year, Jalen Daniels, better than Jalen Hurts. Brock Purdy, Jalen Hurts. You're going to get more value out of Brock Purdy. You just wait. You're going to get more value out of Brock Purdy. And the first game of the year, he's done for 2 to 5 weeks. He is done for 2 to 5 weeks with Dan Orlovsky praising his aggressiveness. He had a bad game, and he's praising his aggressiveness in getting the win. And you're just going, I swear to God, time is a flat circle. Then he also referenced that, Brock Purdy doesn't have any weapons right now. He doesn't have any weapons. He plays reckless as shit, as he has been since high school. And now, what do we want to do? We want to praise him for the effort. We want to say thank you for putting your body on the line in game 1 and hurting your team for the next 2 to 5 weeks. Thank you for your aggressiveness. And aggressiveness just automatically means good in quarterback breakdowns, conversations, etc. It is the big reason why Jalen Hurts will continue to get these types of critiques, because he's not aggressive enough. Aggressiveness completely sidelined the 49er season for a short period of time. And Jalen Hurts has the same frame as Brock Purdy. They are the same height, 6'1". They are about the same weight, 220, 223. Someone can squat 600 pounds, and someone can't. Someone knows when to slide, and someone can't. Someone knows when to throw the fucking ball away because the play's dead, and someone can't. That's been happening since, again, high school. Saw it a ton at Iowa State, and no one brings that up as a negative. It's always positive. Positive Dan, Brock Purdy, fucking doing what he can. Fucking hope they bury the Chiefs this week. I don't want Jalen to have an ego game just to have an ego game. I don't want a shootout just to have a shootout. But fucking, I hope we get one. I hope it happens. We can turn the dial back to, we can stop worrying about A.J. Brown for the millionth time, and this is going to be a season-long statement here. I will be done worrying about anything in A.J. Brown's world. How many catches he's going to get, the stupid trade rumors that come up every year. Thank you, Colin Cowherd, for that yesterday, you fucking asshole. I don't care. I don't care if he's reading books. push-ups or calling Terrell Owens every single day. I don't worry about A.J. Brown unless there is something to worry about. And I am not blaming you one bit for getting involved in any sort of drama, because I was in the drama too. I'm sure all of us were in the drama at some point, whether we believed it or not, fighting with trolls, not fighting with trolls, constantly saying A.J. Brown's going to be a Patriot, constantly bringing up Christian Gonzalez's name. Couldn't have been me. Couldn't have been you. And I'm not sitting here saying there wasn't issues. Clearly there were issues. Brandon Graham did an oopsie daisy and told them out loud with a big fat microphone on the biggest sports radio station in town. And the most important thing for me, and why I've just settled into whatever's going to happen on Sunday with A.J. Brown's going to happen on Sunday, is they got through it and won a Super Bowl. And typically when we hear those things around here, not even in the wide receiver position, but if there is an issue and there's a player thing, it hasn't ended well here. Don't make me list off a bunch of fucking names right now. Just DM me if you want to, or jump in the Discord. There are so many names in Eagles uniforms, in Sixers uniforms, in any type of Philadelphia sports uniform that has not come out of not liking each other personally or having a rift in their friendship. A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts have absolutely proved to everyone that winning is indeed the most important thing, and they can still come in here and do their job. And yeah, at some point, everyone's going to go away. That's the dynasty window that we keep discussing that I think is wide open, so settle in for this Sunday, because A.J. Brown is going to catch at least 5 or 6 balls, and one of those is going to be a touchdown. And if you're asking why I'm so confident in that, I don't think Dallas Goedert's going to play. And I'm sure you're probably already feeling that way too, as he's been a DNP this entire week, and my gut feeling is they're going to decide to sit him, because if this is a, quote, knee sprain as it's described, there's only a couple of things how a knee can be sprained, and that usually deals with ACL, MCL, etc. So if I had to guess, I would say you're dealing with one of those ailments. And my wife just dealt with that too. Like her knee, we were dancing over the summer. It shifted. It went in. It went out. It snapped. She fell to the ground. I honestly thought she snapped her ACL right then and there. And thank God that it didn't happen. But you know, those things for her, who's a non-professional athlete, took about, 3 to 6 weeks, I think, in terms of full recovering, having full motion. So if that is indeed what Dallas is dealing with, then yeah, there is really no point in pushing it for an away game with the Chiefs, especially when you've got like nothing but 1 o'clock slates for the next 3 weeks. So I don't anticipate Dallas Goedert going, which also makes me confident that AJ's is going to get the ball a lot. I tried to think of everything that the Chiefs have been trying to sell us this week. I've heard Andy, excuse me, I keep bumping my microphone. That's on me. I keep seeing Andy kind of say, and Spag say, we're not going to do the same things that we did against the Eagles in the Super Bowl. And I keep laughing at that, going like, well, yeah, you are. Yes, you are. I don't expect them to do the exact same thing, but if you're telling me that Spags isn't going to key up on Saquon Barkley and then basically try to do what Dallas did, and I don't expect them to play a ton of zone either, but without Dallas being around, you're obviously going to see a ton of 11 personnel. They're comfortable with going empty. They've been comfortable going 5 wide. And more importantly, what Jalen Hurts showed me last game is that he just doesn't have an idea of this offense. He's not just in control of this offense. This is 1,000% his offense with input. I don't really think that happened until last season. It's a big, obvious part of why they went to the Super Bowl. It doesn't get talked about a lot because he's helping out Saquon more, and so is everybody else on this team, including the offensive line, etc. But now that 12 personnel is being taken away, you're not going to run 13, which is where you had the most success with Saquon against the Cowboys, and even when you did that, it wasn't great. Kevin Patullo had said this week that it really was more about execution rather than scheme when it came to why Saquon didn't get going as much. But if I'm the Chiefs and I'm looking at all this, okay, we kind of need to do the same principles that we wanted to do in the beginning. Let's try to keep Jalen contained in that pocket. He never wants to get stuck in there. He's always trying to get out of it. And one of his fatal flaws is breaking that too early. You and I know that. Dallas kind of tried to do that last week, and Jalen was having no part of it. He understood that they were kind of enticing him to step up into that pocket. And then when they do that, they want to close really, really quickly. And that is one of the biggest reasons that Dallas didn't have a ton of success in just trying to stop him completely, because he was just saying, no, sir. No, sir. We're not going to do that. And without sounding too much like an asshole, outside of A.J. Brown, you would think Devontae Smith. I actually think this might be a John Mechie or a Dotson type of game. I want 3 or 4 wide receivers out there. They've clearly been working on a lot of this stuff in the offseason. Being empty, being 5 wide. And this team right here is one of the biggest reasons why I think they will continue to do it. I have a strong feeling that what you're about to see against the Chiefs is what they will continue to run mostly throughout the season. Because if you're Nick Sirianni and Vic Fangio, I really don't think you're going to show the Chiefs anything in the first 2 quarters, at least, of what you did last year. I just don't think you're going to do that, nor do I think the Chiefs offense is going to do that either, and they can't, because thank you to Travis Kelce, Xavier Worthy may or may not be playing, and everybody kind of keeps waiting on that. I don't think he's going to go either, simply because he's on the same type of Dallas Goedert track for his shoulder and whatever's going on with that. Originally, when that came out, people just assumed he was going to be on IR or it needed surgery, and neither of those things happened. Juju Smith-Schuster, Hollywood Brown. This team sucks, guys. I don't know why anybody's not saying that. Patrick Mahomes is great. That offensive line is okay. And still, the Mahomes magic is what is keeping that team up. Everything else about this team just looks like paint by numbers of you're just keeping this window open. Let me be the first one to say that I don't think Travis Kelce is out here playing football because the way they left it last year, which is what his big popular line was. The reason why he's coming back, you saw it too. The Kingdom, that stupid documentary that they wanted to turn into a big three-peat documentary and put it out over Disney Plus and like have all these adoring fans go download it. The way that movie was edited at the end just wasn't the magical moment that Travis Kelce imagined happening at the end of that Super Bowl, and they were so ingratiated in that. The whole team caught that vibe. You know, like, I don't think he's back here for football reasons. I think he's back here because it's a better story to tell post-career. And Travis is probably saying to himself, I'm doing this for football. But from the outside looking in, it doesn't look like that. This Chiefs team, to me, is about to go through one of the classic Andy drops. And it's been a while since that has happened really for anybody. And since we've already mentioned Terrell Owens' name, it kind of reminds me of this, you know, like this 05-06 Philadelphia Eagles vibe where things are together and there's still more gas in the tank for everybody, but they need to kind of go through like a mini tank. You know, they need to miss the playoffs, honestly, draft a little better, etc. It is not looking great for their future. And I'm sure Chiefs fans will have some dumb explanation of like, oh, no, actually, this is a good thing. The Chiefs are falling apart. The Philadelphia Eagles broke them. And that is why at the end of this 34-24 football game with the Eagles winning, and if you're still not convinced that this is a downfall of a team, just wait until we finally answer the question if Jalen Carter makes a difference with Adoree Jackson's coverage. Because it's going to matter. And we all know what's going to happen. Adoree's going to look much better. Win or loss. Jalen Carter's going to give us about $50,000 worth of pissed off sacks. So let's just make that 3. Can we say 3? JC gets 3 sacks. Adoree Jackson gets an interception. I'll even throw that in there. 34-24. And we're back here making fun of everybody that's making fun of Jalen Hurts. Because that's just going to happen. I look forward to seeing you, hearing you, and talking to you after Sunday. I hope to see you up at Neshaminy Creek Brewing in Dublin, PA from 1 until the game ends. And honestly, we might be partying all night depending on how good the game is. I'll be podcasting there. We'll be doing social clips all day. I'll be taking your predictions, giving away prizes, might even do some guest bartending. You never know. And if you are an I'd Rather Be Watching the Birds club member, wear your hat or buy a hat from me that day, and all of your food from 1 to 8 is taken care of. We're going to have a multitude of pizzas and tacos and all the good stuff that is around Neshaminy Creek Brewing right there at the station in Dublin, PA. I'll see you there on Sunday, and we'll be right back here on Monday celebrating the win, baby. E-A-G-L-E-S Eagles! Go Birds!